So I wasn't planning on doing an update video so soon, and this is gonna be a kind of sad video, carita triste, because well, you can probably tell from the title, but my Gloriosum is not doing well at all, and I am really sad about it. I had to cut off all the roots, and also I want to say thank you to everyone who commented that I should not have buried the stems. As soon as I got those comments, I literally ran to the plant and I put the roots above soil. So that's good, but when I did that, I noticed that the roots of the plant weren't doing well, like at all. They were doing horribly. So I just kept an eye on the plant for a couple of days, and well, I have footage here of, you can see like the leaves getting more yellow. I can show you the plants here, but I can also show you the process that I did for them to get to where they are now. This was the 8th day that I had this plant after all the rhizomes were placed above soil. You could see how sad the leaves are. Like this one, I found out was a new leaf that just came out, so it was obviously one of the first to droop since it wasn't as well established. But the other big leaf was yellowing. This leaf was completely yellowed, and then the smaller one that I accidentally ripped when I unboxed it was brown and crispy already, so that one was very far gone. And this is when I decided, like, this plant is obviously not getting any better, so we got to see what's going on with the roots. Clearly, the roots were all rotted when I unpotted it, and it was a really hard decision to make because I don't know, it's just so hard for me to cut off roots, but I was hoping, you know, like this is just before I rinse them off, so maybe when I rinse them off they'll look a little bit better, they'll look a little bit healthier, and that was my hope. But after I rinsed them off, they kind of looked a little bit worse. You can see a little bit of like a light color, and I was hoping that maybe I could cut away all the rot and then leave that little bit of light colored root. But once I started cutting, it was pretty clear that that was not going to be an option, and I was going to have to cut away all of the roots and hopefully be able to root them. I cleaned my shears with just like regular disinfectant wipes. We have a lot of those around at the moment, so I decided to use that instead of cleaning with alcohol like I normally would do. And I just went to town, cutting off all the roots. Well, at first, cutting off anything that wasn't lighter colored. This was the aftermath after I cut off all the roots, and then I put them into their new little rooting areas. This is how they look in better lighting. I feel like you could see that the tail ends of both of these stems look like they're not really doing well, so I don't really know if I'm gonna cut them off yet, but let me know what you think. Here is the bigger portion of the plant that was healthier. You can obviously see how the leaves are looking, which is not good. It is in sphagnum moss right now, which I really didn't want to do, but this leaf over here is completely yellowed. I should probably cut it off, and I'm really hoping that this leaf will unfurl and be at least a little bit okay, because it does look a little bit wrecked. Like it's not 100% in good health. It takes a lot of energy for a plant to put out a new leaf, and it doesn't have any roots at the moment because I cut them all off. My comfort cat's here. Oh, and here's the other part of the plant. So this one is the smaller portion that was doing horribly and it didn't really have any good roots. I put it in water so that it could hopefully root, and the reason that I put this one in water and this one in sphagnum moss is because the one that I have in water, it like this leaf is droopy, which obviously means that it needs water. So I was hoping that this would hopefully help it a little bit. So far it's not helping. Not helping, as you can see, but I'm hoping that it'll grow roots. And then I put this one in sphagnum moss because I feel like it's doing a little bit better, and I rather put it in less water than have it in a ton of water. So I'm really hoping that that's gonna root too. I did contact the seller because it was going downhill really fast, and they offered to me like send back the plant and then I'll reimburse you the cost of the plant minus the shipping, and I didn't really think that was fair because the plant would not make it to them. Like by then the roots were already all done. So I just said like, and also I was a little bit emotionally attached to the plant. Like I didn't want to send it back. It wouldn't have made it anyways. And I also feel like, you know, maybe I can save it. I don't know if I can save it now, but I have it. So instead we just did a half refund for the plant. So essentially I paid like half the amount for this plant, and I'm really hoping that I can save it. Like I wanted it to be as fair as possible because it was an expensive plant. Like it's astonishing how fast roots can rot in the mail. So anyways, as the plant's condition worsened, I was panicking, and originally I didn't want to make an update video on this until like a year later when the plant was flourishing. Like my Thai constellation, I made an update video. Well, actually there was a bunch of like hiccup videos like for this plant, so maybe it'll survive. But I was planning on just filming an update video like a year later when the plant is huge and thriving and completely recovered from the root rot. But that's not what happened, and I really thought that the plant was going to do much better than it is doing right now. So I think it is more temperamental than a deliciosa by a lot. So hopefully it's going to root, but I cut off all of the roots because all of the roots were rotted. And like I said, I put this one in sphagnum moss and I put this one in water. I would have liked to put them on top of soil and then put them in like a humidity chamber. Like I usually root plants in a plastic baggie. That would have been like what I wanted to do, put them on soil and then put them inside a plastic bag, but obviously the leaves are way too big for that, so that was not gonna happen. And this is the next best thing. So I have them here. They live against this window, which is south facing window, like gets a lot of good light. South facing windows are probably my favorite kind of window. So they live here. I'm hoping they survive. Like so far this still looks a little bit okay. And I don't want to move it out of the sphagnum moss yet. But one thing that concerns me about rooting in sphagnum moss is that sometimes the roots kind of like get attached to the sphagnum moss, and then when you want to plant it in soil, then you have to somehow take off the sphagnum moss. But that's going to be a bridge to cross on a different day. Hopefully I will get to cross it. Hopefully like roots will grow, and that is a problem that I would rather have than a plant not having roots. Yep, that's where we are with my sad little plants. That is it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!